Welcome to Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
This is Missouri. Dive site, Bonne Terre Mine. Trail number 1, August 22nd, 2020. This red building is called the Mule House, and it's the entrance to the mine. Here we see many artifacts inside. There are a series of 3 cement staircases that lead down into the mine. The stairs are steep and narrow. The area is wet and water continuously falls from the ceiling. Although it hasn't rained for several days, it's raining in the mine. I was told that it always rains in the mine. It takes a long time for the water to make its way through all of the solid rock and down into the mine. I speculate that all of this filtration is what makes the water so clear. Once you reach the bottom of the steps, I guesstimate there's about a quarter mile of ramps that you have to walk down. The way is always down. You have to carry in all of your scuba gear, including weights, unless you rent weights. Weight rental is at a premium. However, I decided to rent weights. I didn't want to have to lug a lot of weight down, and considering I would be wearing a 7mm wetsuit, hood, and gloves, I'd need a decent amount of weight. Here I've finally reached the dive deck. You can see the boat that's used for water tours, and you can tell that the deck is wet as it's constantly raining. The dive deck is actually quite large. The air temperature in the mine is a cool 62 degrees year-round. Here we get our first glimpse of the water. Look at the clarity. You can see the raindrops falling. The water's crystal clear and the visibility is well over 100 feet. The water temperature is 56 to 58 degrees with no thermoclines. Hence the reason for my 7mm wetsuit, hood, and gloves. The St. Joseph lead mine at Bonne Terre, now commonly known as Bonne Terre Mine, was founded in the 1860s and operated until the 1960s. It was one of the earliest deep earth lead mines, and at one time the world's largest producer of lead ore. Although there's an enormous amount of lighting, it is still dim in the mine. The pillars you are seeing are over 200 feet tall in some areas, although most of them is underwater. I am told that there are over 1 billion gallons of water that make up this underwater lake. When the mine was operational, there were many pumps continuously pumping the water out of the mine 24 hours a day. When the mine was abandoned in the 1960s, they shut down most of the pumps. There are still some pumps running to continuously pump water out. The diving is well organized and there are many safety calls in place, as you might imagine there would be diving inside of a mine. It is my understanding that each dive tour has at least 2 guides, one to lead and one to follow the group. In our case, we had a large group, so we had 2 followers. On Trail 1, guests are not allowed to bring lights. This is because the leader and the follower use lights to communicate. All of the guests have green glow sticks on the back of their tanks, while the guides have blue glow sticks on the back of theirs. The ambient light reaches easily through the crystal clear water. However, it's still quite dark, and the guides' lights do not provide nearly enough illumination. However, the human eye is miraculous and adjusts quickly. There are many mining artifacts left within the mine. Here our guide points out a drill still stuck in the wall. This is an example of how they would drill a core to look for lead ore and then use dynamite if they detected enough lead to make it worthwhile. Here we're approaching a mining car that would be used to transport the lead ore. Unlike a Caribbean reef dive, they encourage you to touch things here. The mine car is filled with minerals and mine artifacts. I'm surprised at how little silt there is to be stirred up. Again, I suspect that has something to do with all of the filtration that occurs as the water makes its way into the mine. Trail 1 is mostly inside a large cavernous room, and as we move further on, you can begin to see the silhouettes of the 200-foot pillars. Although I do not suffer from claustrophobia, I had been a little concerned about diving in a mine and what that experience might be like. So far, I've been pleasantly surprised and really enjoyed Trail 1. The clarity of the water is overwhelming. It's a beautiful, breathtaking environment. Here we are back at the surface, and dive 1's come to an end. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.